name is Fernando, and today I want to reflect on how metacognition, the ability to think about our own thinking, has helped me understand injustice and sustainability in a way deeper level. In this course, and especially through the film Even the Rain, I learned that real sustainability is not only about the environment, it's also about justice, history, and those whose stories we choose to hear. Without anything else, let's get started. Metacognition is more than just thinking. It's thinking about the way how we think. And that simple shift in the mindset can change everything. John Flavel, who first introduced the term, described it as the ability to monitor and control our own cognitive process. And honestly, in this course, that helped me realize I wasn't doing it enough. Before, I used to absorb information passively. I would learn facts about climate change, memorize terms like CO2, gas emissions, global warming, but I wasn't really questioning what those things meant in people's lives. Through metacognition, I learned to pause and ask myself, what do I actually understand? How do I reach these conclusions? Am I seeing the full picture? It's a process of internal dialogue, of becoming aware of the invisible filters we use when we interpret the world. And once I started doing that, I began to notice things that I have overlooked. For example, how environmental problems don't just affect ecosystems, they affect people, especially the ones with the least resources or possibilities. This line, shouted during a protest, condemns the exploitation of even natural resources, questioning how companies profit from what should be freely available. The film Even the Rain challenged me. On the surface, it's about a movie crew filming the conquest of Latin America, but what struck me was how history repeats itself. In Cochabamba, Bolivia, during the water crisis, people protested because a private company, backed by international business, had taken control of the water supply. Imagine having to beg to get rainwater. One scene that stayed with me the most was a minute around 45, where the protesters are beaten for defending their basic rights. That's not history, that's just happening right now. And I couldn't help but ask, what would I do in their place? Through reflection, I realized I used to see climate issues as technical problems, CO2 emissions, temperature rise, melting ice caps, but now I see the biggest problem are not just environmentals, but they are political, they are ethical, and they are about the voices that are always ignored. This graph shows the spike in water prices after privatization in Cochabamba. For low-income families, this wasn't just expensive, it was life-threatening. This course taught me a lot about ethics, inequality, and sustainability, things I didn't know. Of course, I knew that sustainability wasn't all about planting trees, watering a plant, or using less plastic, right? However, I didn't know the big part that inequality took in it. If we ignore inequality, we reproduce the same systems that caused the problem in the first place. And we just don't want that. That's why the SDGs, such as the goal number 6, clean water, or the goal number 10, reduce inequalities, they can't be excluded or separated from each other. Bolivia's water crisis is a clear example of this. Environmental solutions that exclude the poor are not really solutions. If we want lasting changes, we need to ask ourselves, sustainable for whom? And who gets left behind in all of this? I used to think development was about progress, technology, growing bigger, richer, but now I understand that progress without justice is just a new form of colonization. While rehearsing the historical scene, Sebastian's voice disappears as Daniel's powerful cry cuts out, underscoring how privatization threatens both water and community sovereignty. Metacognition helped me become more aware, not just of what I learned, but how I process it and the conclusions I draw from it. I no longer want to just memorize content. I want to ask better questions, listen more deeply, and see beyond the surface. Even in the Rain showed me that ethics are not abstract, they're personal, they're political, and they start with how we think. I now understand that my role as a student, a citizen, and a future professional is not just to accept what I'm told, but to think critically about it, because that's where responsibility begins. I'd like to end all of this video and this conclusion and this course with a reflection from Paulo Freire, who said, "Education does not change the world. Education changes people, and people are the ones that change the world." This course didn't just give me the knowledge, it gave me a way to think differently. All of the discussions in class and all of the conclusions drawn from each and every one of us, they all gave me what I believe is the first step towards real change.